It's time for another episode of Gus Talks Wrestling. And today's topic, all of the people that WWE has released just in May of this year. The first one I'm talking about was definitely a surprise, and that was Braun Strowman. I don't know why they're getting rid of him. He had such great matches recently with Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu, and he made them look amazing. He's also very much a company man. Like, he wants to be WWE through and through. So I'm not sure what he's going to do after this. Another one which was a huge surprise to me was Dakota Kai. I felt like she was a future Intercontinental Women's Champion, but for some reason they got rid of her. Now, I do know that she has had issues with getting a lot of injuries in the past, but she's very talented, and I do hope that she lands on her feet. Another big surprise was Cora Jade from NXT. Now, mind you, Cora is another one that has had a lot of issues with injuries, but she has a huge amount of potential. This is another one that I hope she lands on her feet and hopefully gets back to the company at some point. Here's where I go through a couple of releases that really annoyed me just because it seems like they're now saying, you know what, we have absolutely nothing that we want to do with the women's tag team championships. Because they got rid of Kaden Carter and Katana Chance, who are one of the few actual tag teams, like from the beginning, were a tag team in the women's division. Gigi Dolan is another one who is currently in NXT, but I thought could have made it up to the main roster pretty soon. She was also tagging with both Tatum Paxley and Shotzi, and any two of the three of them definitely could have gone for those tag titles. Speaking of Shotzi, she was also released, technically though. They were just not renewing her contract, so it's basically the same thing. And she's another one that I'm surprised that they let go, mainly due to the fact that her and Gigi and Tatum, I thought they would have been great brought up to the main roster and doing this whole Chemical X group thing that they were doing. Another waste, in my opinion, was getting rid of Shayna Baszler. Mind you, they really have not done much with her except putting her in that horrible group of Pure Fusion Collective, but she definitely has potential of getting back up into the higher echelon of the better women's division. But they got rid of her, and she was also partnered with Zoe Stark as they got rid of Sonya Deville, and the two of them, once again, could have been going for those tag titles. This is one I did not understand whatsoever. They got rid of Jakara Jackson, who her and Lash Legend were a great tag team and should have been brought up to SmackDown or Raw, but instead they got rid of her, and right after they broke up the group Metaphor, so it's like she wasn't even given a chance to do a singles run. Speaking of Metaphor, they also got rid of Oro Mensa, who, mind you, they kind of downgraded him to Evolve for the time being, but he was talented in my opinion. I, he's another one that hopefully he lands on his feet somewhere else. Another member of NXT that I was sad about losing was Eddie Thorpe. Mind you, for a little bit here, I didn't care much about him, but his recent feud that he had with Trick Williams and even Obafemi, I thought this really helped elevate him, but for some reason they felt that after that, they didn't need him anymore. Riley Osborne was another one that was released, although I'm not too surprised about this. Once Chase U was ended and then he went down to Evolve, I just didn't see much for him, even though he is very talented. The entire team of Gallus was released, meaning the Coffee Brothers and Wolfgang, which I feel really bad for these guys because they were the ones who helped train The Rock to get back in shape before he got back in the ring. And this is how they treat them afterwards? Javier Bernal was also released. I didn't really care much about him. Like, he was okay, but he also didn't get a lot of screen time just yet. So maybe he'll land on his feet somewhere else. I think the thing I feel the worst about is that he is, I think, married or engaged to Tatum Paxley, who is currently staying in the company. And the last one is Danny Palmer, who is another one, unfortunately, I just didn't really see much of, so I don't really know much about her. But hopefully, once again, she also lands on her feet. So as of the recording of this video, those are all of the current releases. I hope for each and every one of them that they find success. A lot of them I do want to come back to WWE. Maybe they can do something out there in the independents or on AEW or TNA that helps showcase them more, and then they will make it back to the WWE, but time will tell. Finally, let me know in the comments which one of these releases do you think was the worst choice and should have been kept on, or at the very least, who out of these releases are you going to miss the most?